Hello everyone, I'm Phoenix Tremayne, and today we're going to talk about The Black and the Beautiful. So, Bold and Beautiful is going to be focusing, storylines on their black characters again. When I first started watching, it was when the Avants and all Zende, Maya, everybody, Nicole, Sasha, they were all in the mix. Julius, the wife, I don't really remember her name. But, all these characters. Carter was always... and Zende were always working out together. Then you had Justin and Bill, as Bill's right hand man. So when I first watched Bold and Beautiful, it was a lot of black characters. I was shocked. I was like, oh, why haven't I been watching this longer? So before we get to all of that, because we're going to talk about all that, I want to say welcome Soap Fam. I'm Phoenix Tremayne. Thank you for watching. Please take a minute to subscribe. If you have subscribed, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. We're at 23,303 subscribers. So we're almost like a third of the way to reaching that next goal of 24K. So thank you very much for all my new subscribers and old subscribers that are tuning in. And please hit that like button. Every time you hit that like button, lets YouTube knows it's a good video. So for Soap fans, so they can become part of our Soap fam. We also now have memberships and merch. So check that out. Please hit that join button. You'll see a video that tells you all the exclusive videos you can get and early access to videos and all that good stuff. And also, I have Soap Fan merch now, so go ahead and check that out. See if there's something there you like, and you get some Soap Fan merch, which some of you have been asking for a while. So here we go. It says Zende will be in the mix with Zoe and Carter. The Avants, including Nicole and Maya, will be seen throughout the fall. Zende will be involved with the business storyline surrounding the Forster Boutique. So let's go back in time and talk briefly about, what happened to the black characters. I think Zende was the writer's muse because when Rome Flynn decided not to renew his contract and he left the show to go join How to Get Away with, on ABC with Viola Davis, and also The Have and Have Nots, Tyler Perry's The Have and Have Nots. And then he's just been working constantly since and putting out music and doing his thing. But when Zende left, he was in the middle of a storyline where he had just defended Maya, and they were sort of hinting at a potential Maya Zende storyline with them getting together. And then, of course, he's married to Nicole, so that would have been like two sisters fighting over him. The Avants were always coming on the scene because their daughters being on the show, and we just had a lot going on. And then when you took Zende out the mix, then it was like they were like, okay, we're done with black characters. For the most part, the ones we've established, the ones you love, the ones you've watched for years, the one that had you on the edge of your seat, forget them. We're just going to create some new ones that are barely thought out and planned and just screw them all. So it's like Zende was the muse for all those storylines. And with him gone, B&B was just done with everybody. Maya was taking off contract, Cole was taking off contract. Ron Flynn left. The rest of them were expecting to stay. They could have recast Zende as they've done now, but instead they decided to go with new characters, and eventually we barely saw Carter. No more working out. Just if somebody needed a marriage or a contract, he popped up, and we barely saw Justin. His time was getting shorter and shorter and shorter on the show. And so he was just like the person Bill was talking to. He didn't have a storyline of his own. They brought Donna back. They seemed to be getting a relationship, but it was totally off camera. So, the black characters that you knew and loved were just pushed away. What we got instead was Emma, Zoe, and Xander. We had Emma, an actress that was hadn't really done a lot, Dance Moms. She wasn't a very good actress. She was okay. She was getting better with time, but they cared so little about Emma that there were times where you would forget she was on the show because she wasn't on for so long. She wasn't on for so long, and they were like had the storyline where it was like her friend was saying, "Did you take your medication?" You know, they were hinting that Emma was the crazy one, not Zoe, and we never got that storyline. So they end up just getting rid of her in that controversial scene with Thomas, where half of us like, oh, you know, it's his fault, and other people are like, well, she was texting, you know. So people don't want to put the blame on Thomas, so they're like putting the blame on Emma. It's a big mess, and then they got rid of her for no reason. She had become a legacy character based on who her family was, and they just got rid of her. Like they didn't replace her or nothing. We even thought that maybe she wasn't really gone. Maybe they were going to show her in a hospital or something. I don't know. But none of that came true. And they just kind of pushed the storyline to the side. It was just something that happened. And then we got Zoe and Xander, who basically, what was Xander's secret? Xander was a character that came to Bold and Beautiful with an accent and a secret that didn't amount to anything. And Zoe and him both had English accents. And then one day they were in a scene like, we're going to try an American accent now. And then that was in the accents. It was like, why did you have an accent in the first place? What was Xander hiding from? If he was hiding from Zoe, she found him. So, and then they didn't know who they wanted to be the villains, Zoe or Emma. It was crazy, but it wasn't like must-see TV. And slowly, they phased them out too. So then, and even the bartender, Danny, you know, he looked, you know, from American Next Top Model, you know, I was like, are they going to do something with him? You know, once again, Thomas was the character that, you know, pushed this character out of town. So it was like, it was just piss poor diversity on the show. Whether it was Latino, when you got the little detective who don't even have clothes that fit him, that's how much they care about him, that comes on the scene. They never finished the Who Shot Bill mystery. So, because remember, it was supposed to have been something happened where Taylor didn't do it. But then, you know, Hunter Talo quit the show and they just dropped that. So we were just left with Zoe. Zoe was the diversity. Justin was gone. You know, Xander was gone. Emma was gone. Carter showed up every now and then as basically an extra. So our diversity of Bold and Beautiful was just basically Zoe, who was in this doomed relationship with Thomas. So when it comes to diversity on the show, they went from having all of these major black characters that people enjoyed to one. Like Agatha Christie's 10 Little Indians, and then there was one. And then they put Zoe and Carter together just before this whole epidemic stuff happened. And it was like, are we actually going to see a romance with them? Is there going to be, it's going to be another Wyatt Flo situation where they just get together, there's no conflict, no nothing? And, you know, now we get the news that Zende has been recast. And now that Zende's been recast, magically, all the other characters that you cared about, now they're now talking about bringing them back. So suddenly Maya and Nicole are needed again. So we have a love triangle that's going to happen between Zoe Carter and Zende. And, of course, he's married to Nicole. And then he was flirting with Maya. So they're going to be in the mix, too. And they put Carter on contract, so he's no longer a glorified extra. So, you know, everything's turning around. And I'm sure once Maya and Nicole hopefully are just a regular part of the cast, then we'll get the parents. But right now, that's just wishful thinking. I've seen on Twitter, Aaron D. Spears has been very coy about whether or not he's going to be back on the show. He hasn't said yes. He hasn't said no. He was like, you know, just sort of stay tuned. Is, if I recall correctly, that's just kind of like his answer. So there's a chance that Justin might come back. So, and the CBS has made a vow for better diversity on their shows and said 40% of the writers' room is going to be dedicated to minority writers. So we really are in an era where they're going to give it the college try to show more diversity on the show. And so we may see a brand new renaissance of minority storytelling on both Bold and the Beautiful and Young and the Restless. So that's what's going on, and that's why I said the Black and the Beautiful. I still love Brooke. You know, y'all don't think I love Brooke. I still love Brooke. Although I'd rather have Sean and Rich together, but I like Brooke with Bill. Period. I like Katie with Wyatt. You know, so I just don't really see any chemistry between Ridge and Brooke. Thornton K and Catherine Kelly Lang design chemistry. And, you know, of course I love Thomas and Steffi and Hope and Liam and Wyatt. If they left the show, I wouldn't be pressed. I'm so tired of wishy-washiness. Either give them better personalities or, you know, do something with them. But diversity on the show doesn't mean that your favorite characters are going to lose screen time. This hopefully means that we won't get as many repetitive scenes where, like, Flo was like, you know, oh, I have to tell Hope about her baby. And she did that same scene for like, what, 4 or 5 months? That went on over and over again when that could have been dedicated to other people's storylines. So, that's it. I know some of you already have this news, that this news came out like 2 weeks ago. Unfortunately, this is like really my first time really having an opportunity to address it. And I want to know what you think about the Black and the Beautiful. Are you happy that diversity is coming to Bold and the Beautiful in a bigger way? And are you happy to see Zende, Nicole, and Maya are back in the mix, along with Carter and Zoe, and potentially Aaron D. Spears as Justin? So all of that is good news. And let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. I'm Phoenix Tremayne, and I'll catch you in the next video.